Broussard, how much blame does he deserve for the current state of the Lakers?
How about none? And I'm dead
None.
serious. And yeah, we all know, I'm going to say no. We all know that he wanted Russell Westbrook over Buddy Hield. Okay. And I'll get back to that. And Westbrook has not, we all know he's not a good fit. All of us first guessed this, right? That he's not a good fit for the Lakers with LeBron and AD. But Westbrook is being blamed more, he's being blamed more than he should be. And I know he missed 16 shots on Christmas Day, a lot of layups and potential dunks and all that stuff. So he wasn't good, and he's had his bad games. But he hasn't been as horrific and horrible as everybody said. And even if they didn't have Russell Westbrook and had Buddy Hield, I guess Anthony Davis would still be hurt. I guess Carmelo, Dwight Howard, Wayne Ellington, DeAndre Jordan, and so many others would still be old. So even if they had Hield instead of Westbrook, they still would have issues. Now to Westbrook. Okay, so what that LeBron wanted Westbrook? Kudos, props to LeBron for having that much juice. But if you the GM, make the call. LeBron's under contract. He ain't going nowhere. If you wanted Buddy Hield, then trade for Buddy Hield. So Rob Pelinka is the GM. If you let a player, no matter how great, make all the moves and tell you, go get this guy instead of that guy, then that's on you. You should have put your foot down if you thought Hield was a much better fit and said, no, we are going to make this trade, LeBron. I think it's just a better fit. You'll thank me in the long run. All right? And so, Nick, LeBron obviously is playing great basketball. And I'm going to say one more thing about Frank Vogel, because he deserves some blame, or the coaching staff, because it's been Fizdale lately. Why are they trying to play so fast? I know why, I guess, because you got Russell Westbrook and you feel like that's the best way to utilize him. But if you look at LeBron James's history, most of his teams have played slow. When they won it in Miami, they were oftentimes in the 20s, the bottom third in pace. They won it one year at 16. When he won it in Cleveland, they were 28th in pace. When they won it in LA, they were 11th in pace. I get it. You always want to run opportunistically. But where does it make sense to play fast? They play the fastest in the league. Fastest pace in the league, and they're the oldest team in the league. Your old guys can't handle it. And I think they need to slow it down, play more half-court basketball, and that way I think LeBron could control the game more like he has in the past than he's able to do now, Wilds.
So I think those are all excellent points. I think LeBron deserves a fair share of the blame. And it's not because on the court, he's playing well. But I'm going to pull up this tweet that LeBron asked everyone to keep the same energy. Keep talking about my squad. It's from August. Our personal ages. The way he plays, which is in reference to Russ. He stays injured, which is in reference to AD, who is injured. We're past our time in this league, etc., etc. Do me one more favor, please. And I mean, please. He's really begging me here. Keep that same narrative energy when it begins. That's all I ask. Thank you. And a little crown. Nick, all of this stuff was true. The main issue with the Lakers is Russ's style of play has not gelled with the team. And the guy who stays injured is injured at least for 4 weeks. So LeBron wanted me to keep the same energy. Okay, I guess I will. Everything that people were criticizing about the Lakers has come true.
So, but I also want you to keep the same energy because I want to talk about this. Because we all agree that whatever blame LeBron deserves, and put Wilds back up if you can, has nothing to do with his play on the court. He's amazingly, Broussard, I don't know if you'll believe this, he is averaging the most points he has averaged since before he was a Heat in over a decade. He's at 27.5 a game. It's the most points he's averaged in a season in over a decade. Since the suspension, he's 38-7 on 53% a night. Christmas, great example. He sat for 8 minutes. They're minus 16 in the 8 minutes he sits. So when we're talking about blame, we're not talking about how he's playing. He's still playing listen, he's not better than Giannis. He's right now not playing better than Durant, but he's still a top 5 guy in the league at minimum, right? So we're talking about roster construction. And here's my question for Wilds. And you thought I was joking last week, but I'm dead ass serious. If we are going to hang around LeBron's neck roster construction when they fail, then how much bonus points in the GOAT debate does he get for building a champion in Cleveland and building the champion in Los Angeles? Because you don't get to say he was only... Now, in Miami, he wasn't pulling the strings. Pat Riley was. So those 2 titles, player only. But if we are going to say now, when it looks like LeBron built a bad team, that he has to own some of that, even though he's playing great, how much of a bonus does he get for building a champion in Cleveland and building the champion with the Lakers? Because if he had the juice now, he had it a few years ago. He forced the trade for Anthony Davis, did the moves they made, he forced out David Blatt, gets Ty Lue in there, has him trade Wiggins for Love, all of it. So does he get bonus points on those rings? Does he get more credit than the typical NBA superstar if he is now getting blame because while he's succeeding as a player, his side gig as assistant GM, he's had a bad year? Are you going to bake that into your LeBron career analysis? It's an honest question. I'm not being a smart aleck.
Broussard, I would bake that in slightly just like I bake in Tom Brady's Buccaneers legacy slightly. The fact that Tom Brady recruited people, brought Gronk out of retirement, brought AB to the Bucs for better or for worse. That was Tom Brady's team. I think he deserved extra credit. Do I think he probably deserves a little credit for getting Blatt out of there and bringing Ty Lue in? I do. Do I think that catapults him above Jordan in any way? No. But I do think he deserves credit for those championship teams and blame for this team.
I don't bake that into the GOAT debate at all. It's a nice little part of LeBron's story that, hey, he also helped build some of his teams. He had that much juice. But I don't know that the Kevin Love move was a great move. I mean, Kevin Love did little to nothing in those finals. Now, Kevin Love, I thought and I used to defend him with Cleveland as a third guy that would give him 17-9. So he played okay for Cleveland, but Andrew Wiggins would have been dogged there in Cleveland. Defensively, they would have been better. So I don't know that was a great move, Nick. And David Blatt, with all due respect to Ty Lue, I think it's possible they would have won the championship with David Blatt. I mean, LeBron is just that good, and that team with Kyrie as well was that good. Again, maybe not, but so I don't put that into the equation. Yeah, he obviously played a role in Anthony Davis getting there, but who wouldn't bring Anthony Davis to your team?
A lot.
So I don't.
That's a little revisionist.
At that point in time,
there was a hold on.
At that point in time,
no. But
now people might look at him as injury prone. But at that point in time,
there was absolutely the opinion out there that the Lakers traded away too much, their entire young core and all their picks, and that they were banking on LeBron still being the best player in the league when he wasn't going to be that anymore, coming off the first year in LA when he was injured. Now those takes have been burnt. Those tapes have been burnt. But Wild's buddy Bill Simmons, my buddy Bill Simmons, has a few of them. Many people have the Lakers, what are they thinking? And then they ended up winning the title, and LeBron demanded his respect. But it's fine if we want to say the fact that we have 20 years of evidence that, Jordan can't build a team, and LeBron now has had one tough year building a team, that doesn't go into the GOAT debate, so be it. That's fine. But in all seriousness, here is the big problem for the Lakers. The big problem for the Lakers, Wilds, is that LeBron's numbers are so good, and they're still playing like this. The fact that LeBron is having the best age 37, turns 37 in a couple days, year 19 season ever by 5 metric miles, and the Lakers are scuttling, should be terrifying to this team. Because I don't know that LeBron can keep up this level. He's 27, 7, and 7 on 51% for the year, Broussard. That's his career averages. He is playing to his career averages in year 19. And so I think that's really worrisome for the Lakers, that LeBron is playing this well and they're not good.
Look, I've said several times this season that LeBron is putting up, numbers as good as he ever has. And you just pointed it out. But he doesn't control the game and impact winning like he always has in his prime, which obviously is the case, losing 5 straight. But Nick, it may be, look, I do think a lot of it's age and he's just not quite as good. But how much of this, I said it, why are they playing the fastest pace in the league? I want your opinion. Do you agree? They're big. You made that point. No. One of their advantages over Golden State is that they're big. And you could play big. Do you think they should slow it down a little bit? I'm not saying you got to walk it up and try to score in the 90s.
Go ahead, Wild.
But they don't need to be racing up the floor with a bunch of old dudes.
So I'll give you one tidbit. I don't know if this is the absolute answer, but I did talk to I was watching a game with a former player, remain nameless former player. And we're watching old Spurs. The Spurs are old, and I was like, man, game's really moving up and down. Spurs were running a lot. I don't think that plays out well because they're so old. And this guy told me, he's like, you know what? When you're old, you're still like a world-class athlete. You can go up and down the court, but you don't want, it takes more energy to slog and push and grind and cut and run the baseline and run. Like, it's actually, it might, and I'm not saying this is guaranteed, but it might be they're playing so fast because they are old that they don't want to play slow and get down there and push and grind. It is a theory that's out there from unnamed NBA player.
Another theory is a team that needs to be convinced not to play DeAndre Jordan might not be very well coached right now. There's also that theory. That maybe there's just making some bad decisions, Wilds. Maybe.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from First Things First, or go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.